Thanks for joining us for 5 on 5. I'm Joe Sullivan. Pleased to be joined today by Republican candidate for Attorney General Will Lathrop. Will, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. You spent a lot of time in Africa. Just talk about how your human rights work in Africa would help in your new position as Attorney General.
Yeah, I was a child sex abuse prosecutor for a number of years in Oregon, and then I was doing human rights work in Africa. Most of that time was spent on dealing with child trafficking and trafficking of women to the Middle East for labor or for sex. That's organized crime. It requires collaboration between multiple governments and foreign institutions. And right now, the number one thing facing Oregon is organized crime. That's drug trafficking, human trafficking, and organized retail theft, particularly drug trafficking. It's no secret that fentanyl is not made in Oregon. It's brought here by a very organized foreign drug cartel, and it's the role of the Attorney General to run point on all organized crime. And so I'm uniquely qualified and have had a lot of success at taking on international foreign crime or international organized crime, and I'll do the same in Oregon.
Leads me to my next question. Oregon ranks 47th in the country in public safety. How would you help with public safety in our state?
Well, I've got 2 decades of public safety background. Like I said, as a child sex abuse prosecutor in Oregon, I worked in child abuse prevention at the national level, and then worked for almost a decade overseas, working with other foreign governments to build their criminal justice system. And my opponent doesn't have any criminal law experience, so I'm very experienced when it comes to criminal justice, and I'll be able to make a big difference in protecting Oregonians when elected.
Homelessness in our state is such a huge issue. How would you help in that situation?
Well, there's 2 things that are really driving chronic homelessness. That's people that are, chronically on the street. One is mental health. The other is addiction. And right now, I can't say what it would be in Medford, but you can get fentanyl, the most dangerous and addictive drug in human history, for 75 cents a pill. We should all agree that people shouldn't be making millions of dollars off of exploiting addiction and crushing families and communities. And as the Attorney General, I'm going to push back on fentanyl in a big way, and I'm going to try to support efforts to increase our access to mental health treatment in Oregon.
Do you think the money in our state is going to where it should be going, or do you think there's money that is being misspent?
I'm sure that there's money going where it should be going, but there's also a lot of money that's being misspent. In fact, there's a lot of missing money, unreceipted, unaccounted for money in Oregon state government. It comes through the audits to the Secretary of State. It's not me saying that. It's there if anybody wants to look, but nobody's following up on it. Nobody's trying to determine whether that's negligently spent, unreceipted, or actual theft. And that's going to be one of my top priorities as Attorney General, is to track the money and make sure it's going to the services that are needed.
How do you fix that problem?
Well, you have to, first of all, investigate it, like I say, and then determine whether something is bad receipting, bad accounting, or it's actual fraud or theft. And if it's fraud or theft, you have to hold people accountable. You have to put them in jail.
All right. We're going to take a quick break and be back with more 5 on 5. Stay with us. Welcome back to part 2 of our 5 on 5 with Republican candidate for Attorney General Will Lathrop. And Will, you're a Republican, as I just said. How do you get those votes from Portland that you need to win this election?
Well, right now, crime is indiscriminate, right? It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Addiction is indiscriminate. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. It's affecting everybody the same. And I think people are looking for somebody that's not a politician, doesn't have a political background, but actually has law enforcement experience and can actually change the problems and create safety around us. And when I talk to Democrats, they say the same thing. They talk about social issues. I let them know the Attorney General doesn't do anything with social issues. This is a law enforcement position. It's the chief law enforcement officer of the state, and I can make a difference. And that's why we're polling really well with Democrats right now, because I'm a moderate, get it done, pragmatic, solve the problem, go to work, and lead people well kind of a leader, and I'm not a politician.
And drug trafficking comes into that in a big way, doesn't it?
It does. The Attorney General is supposed to run point on all organized crime, including drug trafficking, meaning the Attorney General should be the tip of the spear in Oregon's pushing back on the drug industry.
All right, we've got a minute left. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch upon before we go?
Yeah, so I've spent my entire life, my entire adult life and career working to protect children here in Oregon, nationally and internationally. And right now, Oregon is not a safe place to raise children. It's just not. If you look at teen suicide, mental health, online exploitation of children, DHS is housing children, foster children in hotel rooms when it's been repeatedly held to be unconstitutional or be a violation by the courts. We are not doing a good job of protecting children, particularly children living on the margins. It is my top priority as the Attorney General to make Oregon a place that's safe for children so that our communities can thrive and we have a brighter future. That's my background, that's my passion, and that's what I hope to do. And you can learn more about me on willlathrop.com, myname.com.
Oh, good plug right there. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, stay with us. We'll be back with more local news right after this short break.